All right, folks, I'm now joined by our friends from Scotia Investments, Mr. David Ware of the Institutional Development Department and Marie Lynn James of the Investment Services Department. She's Vice President, to help us better understand pension fund management. Good morning to you both.
Good morning,
Welcome to
Good
morning, Jamaica. Mas David, I usually say ladies first, but I shall start with you this morning.
Yes.
So you could give me an overview of how many people, as far as you know, have a pension plan.
Well, I think the last data that was actually shown here statistically says that the persons in the population that are of working age, for us in Jamaica, it's about 22%. And that is extremely low when you're thinking about it.
Yeah.
When you look regionally, you have Barbados, they're in the high 60s, and even Trinidad is in the 50s.
So then why are we at 22, as far as you know?
As far as we know, I don't think that we've actually gotten that culture in terms of being able to look longer term. For us, our forecasting is really more today or at worst case tomorrow. And we really need to develop a more long-term outlook in terms of our lives and how we prepare for retirement. And when you look at persons in the northern United States, Canada, they are in the high 70s in terms of their persons planning ahead and thinking of ensuring that when they are not working, they'll have something to actually live by for the golden years.
Do most companies have pension plans? They should? Or they don't necessarily have to?
Ideally, they should, but the statistical data here shows that they don't. And so it is incumbent of us to actually try as best as possible to organize and to educate mostly persons that you need to actually come together to form some kind of a long-term strategy for your betterment in your golden years.
Okay. And if I may add to what David just said, most companies should, but they don't. But what we have seen in recent times, over the last 10 years or so, individual companies are offering individual retirement schemes or personal pension plans for individuals like yourself or for myself that are not a part of a pension plan. But what you find is that it is a slow growth. It's getting there, but it is slow. And as part of our duty as investment managers is to provide more education to the investing public.
Okay.
That is important.
But from a company standpoint, there is nothing legal that said them have to have a pension
That's correct.
plan.
Right. That's correct.
Should they though? Should it be?
I think the onus would really be on government to try and think of looking at that because it would take away some of the pressures of the whole NIS issues.
Right. Marilyn, what is pension funds management and why should companies identify a pension fund manager?
Okay, so simply put, a pension fund management is actually hiring somebody to manage monies for their members' retirement. So let me give an example. You're part of a pension plan. Every month, your employer deducts some contributions from your plan, and they will keep it in a separate vehicle for investments. So they can manage it themselves, or they can hire someone like Scotia Investments to decide what stocks, what bonds, what real estate to purchase to achieve a long-term objective for that pension plan. So that's pension fund management in a nutshell.
Wow.
Making the best decision for contributions of members.
And all right, so then how does Scotia Investment SIJL?
SIJL for short, yes.
Invest pension funds with various portfolios?
So the pension funds industry is regulated by the Financial Services Commission. And to start out, each investment manager, including Scotia Investments, must be licensed. And there are rules and regulations that govern how you go about investing. So for Scotia Investments, what we do is that we sit with our clients, the companies, to determine what their risk tolerance is, what kind of long-term objective they want, what their return is like, and based on that, we will make a decision as to what to invest in, whether we're going to buy more stocks if the company is risky in terms of their tolerance, or whether we're going to buy more bonds if they're more conservative in their risk tolerance.
So you kind of answer my next question, because the pension funds are invested in stocks.
They invest in stocks, bonds, and real estate.
Or just those three?
Primarily, again, because it is dealing with persons' retirement income, there are a lot of limits surrounding what kind of investments investment managers can pursue.
Okay.
So the regulation guides what kind of investments you can choose. So for stocks, for example, you can decide to buy stocks on the Jamaica Stock Exchange, or you can buy a private company's equity.
Okay.
For bonds, the same thing. You can go to a government bond or you can go to a corporate bond. So you have the flexibility within the broader bonds and stock categories.
Well, as I don't, but I actually understand what you're saying. Sir David, what is unique about the offering from Scotia Investments?
Well, the good thing about Scotia Investments is that we have the synergies of our parent company that can actually acquire any and all types of the securities that Mario was actually speaking about. We have the depth and breadth, we have strength of capital, we have the history of being here for many years, and we have persons within the team that have very good oversight in terms of managing of these funds. So we take very seriously the investment strategies that we outline for the different individuals and institutions.
What I can add as well is that we don't have a generic approach to all clients. We look at each client uniquely, discuss with them what they want to achieve, and then we'll tailor-made something for them. In addition to that, Scotia Investments is part of the Pension Fund Association of Jamaica, which is a lobby group that try to influence change as we go along in the industry.
You get the final word. Call to action, it says. Tell me, what's that about? You want people to know what's going on? Yes.
So David started out by outlining the relatively poor participation rate in a pension plan. What we will implore persons to think of, not only individuals like yourself and myself, but companies, is to consider pension fund more seriously. They have several options to pursue. They can contact Scotia Investments to come in and discuss how we go about investing in a pension plan, how we go about starting a pension plan, and then guide them along that process. The call to action as well is be more diligent in how you invest for your retirement. You want to maintain the same lifestyle now as in retirement, so it's important to take this seriously before it's too late.
Brilliant. I have 19 seconds from Scotia Investments.
Well, the thing is that definitely gone are the days when you sit down and say, I'm going to have out my lot and that is going to assist with helping me in my old age. You know, your lot will leave and do their own things.
Yes, man.
And so therefore, that is not one of the options that you should be looking at.
You need to know what you're doing.
You need to know what you're doing.
Man. From Scotia Investments, Senior Manager of Institutional Development, Mr. David Ware, and Assistant Vice President of Investment Services, Ms. Marie Lynn James.